Hello, everybody. Fighting Crypto here to talk about Beam, a crypto I do not own. It's one I like a lot. I've played with the idea of getting into it a couple of times. It's probably one I'll get to down the road into what I'll call trickle coin, essentially. When I take profits from one and I move it into another smaller cap that hasn't moved yet. This one's on my radar for it. So in short, you already know I like it. But today I want to talk about just a generalized review with a price prediction somewhere closer to the second half of this video. And I just want to get a basic understanding for what Beam is, so that way you guys can do your own research and dig into a little deeper if you would like. So before we jump straight into it, if you've been here before, thank you. If it's your first time, welcome. And also, thank you. Hopefully by the end of this, whether it's your first time with me or you've been here several times, if you find this interesting and or useful in any way, please do press the like button, subscribe. It means a lot. I appreciate it. And now with that, let's move forward, shall we? So let's give a real brief concept as to what Beam is, right? Let's give the Beam basics. So it is a blockchain that is essentially built for gaming. Web3 gaming, I'll get a little bit more of what that is momentarily, but it's to help developers create games on Web3. So it's not a directly blockchain. It runs on Avalanche, which is known for running most of gaming as it is. So you have a gaming giant of Beam that is partnered up running on the really big gaming giant of Avalanche, which makes everything really lightning fast. The ecosystem really is geared towards it. So they made the right pick with this one. Many times Beam gets described as kind of like the toolkit for developers, where it has everything they need for building the in-game economies. It's really NFT friendly. Not something I really ever got big into, but NFTs ran like effing crazy last bull run. If you guys were around here, then you saw like those 2.4 million NFTs of a banana. I don't understand it, but it made money, so it worked well. But Beam is very big on that for all kinds of Web3 gaming. The real trick, in my opinion, for a lot of gaming is people who don't know that it is even crypto. And you're seeing more and more games that, even though they're Web3, so you earn things and you own them that are yours, not everyone's picked up on it, which is what we want. That turns into mass adoption. And we have something like Beam that pretty much hosts and helps develop and build a bunch of different games. I believe there's about 60 of them out there right now, all under Beam. I mean, this just helps development and growth of the company in general. It's going to become, or it looks like it's going to become, a cornerstone of gaming crypto, which is freaking phenomenal and certainly a niche where they want to be. So in short, Web3 is all about private ownership. You own everything in Web3, where in Web2, you'll pay for stuff, you don't own it, but you can use it. Oh, let me explain that a little bit better for you guys, right? So think of things like Epic Games or Activision. They own everything. In games, you can buy maybe new skins of the character, but they're in the game, right? You can't take those skins with you. I probably could have came up with a less creepy example on that, but that's a good showing of you buy it but stuck in the game. You don't actually own it, right? If your account gets hacked or lost, you have to rebuy skins if you start over. Web3, everyone owns the assets that they have. So if you buy or create an NFT, or you find a crypto like in Illuvium, you collect an ILV or Illuvium in the game, that's actually yours. You get to take it home with you, so to speak. It's not locked in the game, where if you start a different save file or different account, you lose it all. So Web3 is where we can buy, sell, and trade a bunch of digital assets. So this is where the play to earn concept comes in. And that's kind of big in gaming. I'm a little mixed about whether I think that's a good thing or not, simply because games that have more of play to earn, and I do think this hurts a few games like Illuvium, but I'm a big fan. I own a ILV. There you go. But if people see a game as just a way to mine tokens or anything, that's what they're going to use it for. They're going to grab it, mine it, sell it, collect it, whatever you want to call it. So some of these games where it is just more of an advantage or something that you can get, or a secondary if you can create these NFTs and then you can sell them. Appears to me to work a little bit better, but we'll see how all it goes. But I definitely think Web3 is the way to go for most cryptocurrency, to be honest, because if I'm putting my money into something, I want to have control and own it. So that's what we're talking about between the differences of Web 2 and Web 3. So key features. What's some things that really makes Beam pop out, right? The first one is their SDK, or their software development kit. This is what kind of things like a programming system that makes it a lot easier for developers of games or devs to build upon Beam. They make it user friendly, which is a big freaking deal. If you don't have a product that others can hop in and use easily, they're far less likely to use it, right? You want to make things as idiot proof as possible when you're trying to mass market something. So SDK, software development kit, really helps Beam be able to do that. It makes it much more cost effective for developers as well, because they have this little package handed off to them for them to be able to create games and use. They do have governance with a Beam DAO. I will never get that right the first time, at least not confidently. So it's a 50-50 chance I'm going to F it up every time. But anyway, the Beam DAO, they have governance. So it helps out with the community, has a reason to hold on to tokens so they can help vote and push the direction of the company. And then Beam OS / Beam Bridge. This is probably the most important part of Beam's little ecosystem that they have. This is their interoperability, right? So if you're collecting NFTs or random crypto from different Web3 games, how are you going to get it back to your wallet, right? If it's a game that is, maybe it's a game that's on Ethereum, Beam is on Avalanche, how are you supposed to pull out that NFT or crypto? You need something to bridge or be an interoperability carrier from one to the other. And that's what Beam Bridge and Beam OS does. It makes it easy, cheap, and fast to move your assets that you're earning from playing around. Because if we didn't have that, most of this would just be another game. Nothing's wrong, because some of these games are kind of cool, but we're here for crypto as well, right? So if you're playing crypto games, you want to take your crypto home with you, or put into a digital wallet, store it in your closet, that kind of thing. So before we get into looking at the chart, just to give a quick idea of the field of Beam so far economically, let's run over some of their quick tokenomics and see how much it actually matters right now. So Beam has a crap ton of tokens, guys. There's 62 billion of them. There's 49.5 roughly that are out in circulation currently. And this is even after a major burn last year. It was like 37 billion tokens that they just burned off into the cosmos. And there is still almost 50 billion out there. So it's not a big deal to me. Again, I've said this in several videos before. I don't really care about how many tokens there are, but it's good to know because I might use it differently. Right? In this case, it doesn't really matter to me. These things are cheap, right? And the more tokens they are, depending on the scarcity, can keep the price down, which is why the burning mechanisms that they have is so freaking cool, because it helps out as a deflationary mechanism. And to add to that, they also have a buyback system where they have Beam themselves, they have money in a fund, so that way they can buy back tokens, which it's almost exactly what it sounds like. They can spend money to buy tokens on the marketplace, and then when they buy them back, they burn them. So it helps as a deflationary mechanism of deciding to burn tokens and also buying them back to blow them up in the cosmos. It helps keep the price a little bit more in check for where we may or may not want it. Now they can do what they want with it, I suppose. But I love having burning mechanisms in crypto. It's one of my favorite small things that I feel can make a large deal, because it's not that it controls the price, but it can help regulate it a little bit. And specifically, if it's being a DAO, a lot of times they vote for the community to say if we want to have a burn or not. Not always. Every company can do what they want, but it's a very common one, and one I certainly appreciate. All right, let's take a quick look at the chart. So here we have on the monthly, and again, it looks like most crypto doing a monthly, that nice little kind of smile, we'll call it dip, and then come back up. Starting to get back up a little bit in the last month. Again, it's recovered pretty well. It's floating around about 7/10 of a penny. I believe the all-time high, at least this year, was around 4 cents. So, okay, we had it right around 4 cents there. Again, look at there's a large circulating supply, no big deal. If we look at the of all time, so you can see it only goes back to 2023, but we did have it hit up okay over 4 cents back here in March. So that was a little bit before the Bitcoin halving. And so we had a double local top back then, not a big deal. I'm expecting to go a lot higher than that, but the price action, okay, we got lines of resistance during hype, at least when we had a little bit more of free liquidity come in the market then. And then we cooled off massively. And I was watching very closely around that half a penny marker. Again, I just personally chose to DCA into crypto I already owned, but I'm keeping a close eye on Beam. If you're going to help run a bunch of different crypto games, like 60 of them on their platform, if one or two of those 60 games do incredibly well, we're going to start seeing it go up a lot further. Imagine if they have 5 to 10 of these 60 games that really hit it off. The more the games under Beam makes money, the more it's going to, which is why I feel Beam is a much safer play than most other gaming crypto. Because again, like I have Illuvium, a little bit of that one, but I need Illuvium to do well for Illuvium to make money. Ethereum doing well helps it out a little bit, but for Beam, I can get Beam, and if any of those games do well, it helps the price come up. So I like that because there's more ways, at least in my mind, to be able to make money from it. I don't have to put all my eggs into one basket, even though I'm just investing into one crypto. So Beam is like the clear gaming focused crypto. It actually has a little bit of a funding deal with Abu Dhabi, probably better pronounced that way, of helping to make that whole region like a focus in gaming, and Beam is involved with it, which is freaking awesome. If you know nothing else about that area, it is rich as hell, right? It makes a huge difference when you're talking about developing games or being a company like Beam that helps fund the development of other games. It's nice to have deep pockets in yours. Beam has their part of Beam OS where they can buy, sell, and trade on their entire NFT marketplace. So there's a lot of different ways that Beam can become profitable for both you and for the company in general. They've got some decent partnerships. Again, they're on Avalanche, not a bad place to be. They've got a couple partnership options and deals with Polygon. Again, I understand Polygon hasn't been huge yet this cycle, but it's kind of a staple. You can call it Dino Coin if you want, but it's a good partnership to be there, as well as Layer Zero, or a big one, which is Immutable X. So Immutable X is a layer 2 for Ethereum, which is mostly there to help out their performance of NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, and Web3 games. And this helps with the interoperability component of going from Beam on Avalanche, and Immutable X helps move it over to Ethereum for Ethereum-based games. So it keeps the gas fees and everything ridiculously low, and Immutable X is a pretty deep little pocket there. So if you're looking into Beam, look more into Immutable X. At least I would recommend it. It's a big partnership. You should probably know more about if you're going to invest into this. So obviously I'm a fan, right? And I've talked a lot of good things about it. Let's do real quick about any negatives, just because it's good to know the good and the bad, right? No company is perfect. So what small things? So one, the DAO is a positive, but it can also be a little bit of a negative, because a lot of times when you build it around the community just either doesn't care, or they get burned out, or it's completely overwhelmed by whales who own the crypto as well. Because the way governance works is you typically need to own X amount of the crypto to be able to put in your opinion. And the more crypto you own, the more of an opinion you have. So a lot of us retail, it doesn't actually matter to us. And sometimes the community just doesn't care. I can't say for sure this happened with the Crowcoin group, but crypto.com, they had their vote about burning or bringing back burnt tokens. Everyone said no, but they did it anyway, and that really destroyed the trust in the community. It's a risk. I'm not worried about that with Beam, but something good to be aware of. Regulatory risk is a little bit more of a concern factor with gaming, not massive. I mean, I've seen a lot of others' opinions on this one saying that it's pretty big, and I can see how it can be. just in terms of like gaming from even back on like the PlayStation. There was games that might be banned in one country or not the other due to a political ideal or something of that nature. So regulation, if it's not completely wrapped around worldwide, it can hurt a little bit. Again, not overly concerned, but there's always a risk about regulation causing an issue. But obviously, I think there's a lot more pros than cons. I do like Beam, and I think it's going to go a few good places. How far up? Let's talk about it. You guys have heard videos from me before. I'm really big on when it comes to a bull run, the more eyes, the more buys, right? So the more people who can easily buy crypto, the better it is for it. So I feel like to me, in a bull run, it's a requirement for a coin to be on Binance or a Coinbase, at least one of the two, or I'm probably not going to buy it. In the bear market, when there's plenty of time for things to transfer, for them to get on these large exchanges, or the word to get out more, it matters a lot less. But thankfully, Beam is on Binance. It's also on Uphold, which is where I've looked at it personally before, but it's not on Coinbase. It doesn't have to be. So where's my price prediction with this? I would love to say $1, like I hear a lot of people say, and maybe I'm just being bearish, like I've been told before. But at this point, that's over a 100x. I'm not going to say that's not possible, but I'm sure as hell not going to. If I bought it now, I'm not going to hold and wait for it to hit $1 because I'm not confident it will get there. I think on the my opinion, bearish side, I think we're looking 12 to 18 cents. So call it 15 cents if you want to split it down the middle, which is still roughly an 18 to 20x from now, right? No fade. I think this is a good crypto. I could see on the more realistic side or a little bit on the higher side, 30 to 35 cents. Again, if I'm at all right, do the math on this one. And I see a lot of people talk about higher. Do your own research to get your own opinion from it. But that's where I'm going to pin it at, guys. So though I don't own Beam right now, it's a good one. I recommend looking into it a little bit. Let me know in the comments below. Do you own Beam? Did you used to own it? Do you think gaming is crap? And let me know anything else you guys want to know. If you've been here this long, you know the thing. There's those buttons there. Appreciate if you click it. And I'll see you guys again on the next one. Peace.